The High Mobility Artillery Rocket System, also known as HIMARS, is a light multiple rocket launcher developed in the late 1990s for the United States Army and mounted on medium tactical vehicles trucks. It is designed to provide long-range precision strike capabilities and is capable of launching various munitions to engage targets at extended ranges. We have an incredible team across the country dedicated to the continued success of HIMARS, said Colonel Guy Yelverton, Program Executive Office Missiles and Space. As a field artilleryman myself, I am very proud of our combined efforts to field HIMARS to soldiers in field artillery units around the world. The HIMARS is designed to support joint early and forced entry expeditionary operations with high-volume destructive, suppressive, and counter-battery fires. Developed in the late 1990s for use by the U.S. Army, it's the wheeled version of the M270 multiple launch rocket system. By early 2022, Lockheed Martin was producing HIMARS at a rate of 48 launchers annually. But following the start of the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine, that rate was increased to 60. In October 2022, the company announced it would boost production to 96 systems annually in response to increased demand caused by the war. Limitations in building new industrial capacity means it will be several months before production can be ramped up from 5 to 8 vehicles monthly. The HIMARS is made up of two different components, the launcher and a 5-ton truck chassis from the U.S. Army's family of medium tactical vehicles. While large, it's not as big as other similar systems. Weighing in at 35,800 pounds when loaded and at only 7 meters in length, it's small enough to be transported by a Lockheed C-130 Hercules. The High Mobility Artillery Rocket System is operated by a crew of 3, the driver, gunner, and launcher chief. However, the computer-based fire control system enables a crew of 2 or a single soldier to load and unload the system. The fire control system includes video, keyboard control, a gigabyte of program storage, and GPS. The fire control computer allows firing missions to be carried out in automatic or manual mode. In a typical mission, a command and control post would transmit the selected target data via a secure data link to the HIMARS onboard launch computer. The computer then aims the launcher and provides prompt signals to the crew to arm and fire a pre-selected number of rounds. The launcher can aim at a target in just 16 seconds. It is possible for the crew to select pre-programmed multiple mission sequences, which have been stored in the computer. The HIMARS is equipped to carry 6 227mm guided artillery rockets, or one MGM-140 ATACMS missile. The pod in which the weapons are mounted is identical to the twin ones equipped by the M270, giving it 50% of its counterpart's firepower. Given the variation in munitions, the system has an effective targeting distance of between 5 and 190 miles. Exactly how much does HIMARS cost? Manufacturer Lockheed Martin refused to give cost estimates, instead referring queries to the U.S. Army's Aviation and Missile Command. The cost of HIMARS is split between the launcher itself and separate contracts for various munitions including guided and unguided rockets, and the ATACMS missiles. Some estimates put the cost of a HIMARS guided rocket at $100,000 to $200,000 apiece, or an ATACMS at more than $700,000 apiece. HIMARS is a tribute to the dedication and commitment of those who have developed, tested, built, fielded, and operated this battle-tested, lethal, and highly responsive rocket launcher, said Daryl Colvin, Program Executive Office Missiles and Space Deputy Program Executive Officer, who served as a Lieutenant Colonel and Product Manager for the Field Artillery Launchers Product Office, HIMARS program. When the launcher first deployed, I congratulate and appreciate the broad team for supporting the HIMARS mission and delivering this critical capability to the warfighter. HIMARS launcher addresses Army readiness, now and in the future, to achieve overmatch, deter threats, and win the future fight. Through constant preservation and innovative progression, HIMARS flexes its strength on the military front lines and enables global joint all-domain efforts. The primary and first country to equip the M142 HIMARS is the United States. In May 2005, the system was introduced to the U.S. Army's 3rd Battalion, 27th Field Artillery Regiment, 18 Airborne Corps Artillery. It has since seen its use expanded to other areas of the Army, as well as with the Army National Guard and the U.S. Marine Corps. Other countries that have adopted the HIMARS into their weapons catalog are Singapore, the United Arab Emirates, Romania, Jordan, and Ukraine, with others discussing the possibility of operating the system in the future. The HIMARS has seen use in a handful of conflicts, most notable the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. The U.S. Army used the system in Iraq to avoid damaging buildings when fighting urban battles, and it played a key role in the Battle of Mosul in October 2016. There has been use of HIMARS in the Syrian civil war as well. The U.S. Army fired rockets into Syria in support of the rebels in March 2016. A month later, it was announced the U.S. would be deploying the system to Turkey as part of the battle against ISIS. On June 23, 2022, the first HIMARS arrived in Ukraine, according to Ukraine's defense minister, Oleksiy Reznikov. 2 days later, Ukraine started deploying the system, according to Ukraine's General Staff, Valery Zaluzhny. Artillerymen of the armed forces of Ukraine skillfully hit certain targets, military targets of the enemy on our, Ukrainian territory. Forget about the HIMARS. The U.S. Army is now eyeing weapons that can travel longer distances over waters in the Indo-Pacific region. It has selected at least 2 teams to work on a future precision strike missile, or PrSIM, that can fly more than 1,000 kilometers, possibly doubling the range of the current version. Both Lockheed Martin and a Raytheon Technologies Northrop Grumman team have told me they received Army contracts to develop a new missile form factor and propulsion system for the service's PrSIM Increment 4. PrSIMs is to replace non-insensitive and cluster munition versions of the Army MGM-140 ATACMS. It will provide Army and U.S. Marine Corps field artillery units with long-range and deep strike capability. The PrSIMs will destroy, neutralize, or suppress targets at ranges from 43 to 250 miles using indirect precision fires. The baseline missiles will be able to engage a wide variety of targets at ranges as long as 310 miles. It will emphasize imprecisely located area and point targets. Primary emphasis for follow-on upgrades will be on increased range, lethality, and ability to attack time-sensitive, moving, hardened, and fleeting targets. In the future, the Army will be able to use the long-range PrSIMs to attack and destroy moving enemy ships operating offshore at ranges out to about 310 miles. While the weapon primarily has surface-to-surface applications for use against enemy air defenses, troop fortifications, and armored vehicle columns, the PrSIMs is being configured with an advanced targeting multi-mode seeker to include maritime strike. The new targeting seeker has completed a captive carry test, wherein it flew aboard an aircraft against representative targets in preparation for further testing and ultimate deployment.